I get it. You're standing in front of the TV, scrolling through a dozen home theater options, and the thought keeps popping up. What if I spend a lot of money and end up with a system that sounds good on paper but falls flat in my living room? That hesitation is real, especially when you're looking at a premium bundle that promises everything from Dolby Surround to Alexa voice control. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Bose Lifestyle 600 is marketed as a complete, all-in-one solution, but the question is whether it actually delivers the immersive experience you're hoping for without turning your space into a tech maze. First off, the setup experience is where the Lifestyle 600 starts to separate itself from a traditional receiver and speaker combo. The dual-cube satellite speakers are small enough to sit on a bookshelf or be mounted high on the wall, yet they're engineered to project a surprisingly wide soundstage. Because they're wireless, you don't have to run speaker wire across the room, which is a blessing if you're dealing with carpet or a rented space. The base module hangs on the wall with a magnetic mount, and Bose's Quiet Port technology claims to keep the low frequencies tight without the rattling you sometimes hear from larger subwoofers. All three speaker clusters talk to each other via a proprietary DSP that automatically calibrates the level and timing based on where you place the units. In practice, that means you can drop the rear surrounds a few feet off the floor, and the system will still try to create a convincing surround field. The downside is that you're still dependent on a solid Wi-Fi connection for the wireless link, and if your router is in the basement, you might notice occasional dropouts during a movie's action sequence. Also, while the speakers are sleek, they are not invisible. Their modern cube shape can feel a bit industrial in a cozy, traditional core. When it comes to day-to-day use, the Lifestyle 600 leans heavily on convenience. The integrated Alexa microphone lets you say, "Alexa, play the next episode of The Crown," and the system pulls the stream right through the SoundTouch app, no extra device needed. Switching between TV audio, Spotify, or a Bluetooth phone call is as simple as tapping the remote source button or asking Alexa for a change. For families that binge watch, the hands-free voice control reduces the need to juggle multiple remotes. The system also supports multi-room playback, so you can push the same music to a Bose portable speaker in the kitchen while the TV is off in the living room. On the practical side, the lack of a dedicated HDMI/C input means you have to run an optical cable from your TV to the main hub if you want the best sync for dialogue-heavy shows, which adds a tiny bit of cable clutter despite the wireless speakers. Another quirk is that the system's equalizer is largely locked in. You get the Bose-approved sound signature, but there's limited room for tweaking bass or treble if you have a very bass-heavy soundtrack. Most users find the default settings more than adequate, but audiophiles who love to fine-tune may feel constrained. So, who should actually consider buying the Lifestyle 600? If you have a medium to large living room, enjoy the idea of a sleek, mostly wireless setup, and want the convenience of voice control built right into your sound system, this package is a strong contender. It shines for people who want a set-it-and-forget-it experience. Once you've placed the speakers and run the minimal cabling, the system handles calibration and source switching without you needing to think about it. It's also a good fit for households that already use Alexa devices, because you'll be extending that ecosystem to your TV and music. On the flip side, if you're renting and can't drill holes for the magnetic subwoofer, or if you live in a very small apartment where the extra speakers would dominate the space, the Lifestyle 600 might feel oversized. Budget-focused shoppers should also pause. Bose's premium pricing means you're paying a lot for the brand's design and wireless convenience, and there are cheaper component-by-component options that can outperform it in raw output if you're willing to handle the wiring yourself. Finally, if you're the type who likes to tweak sound curves or swap out drivers for a more custom setup, the system's locked DSP will likely be a source of frustration. All things considered, the Bose Lifestyle 600 offers a solid blend of modern aesthetics, wireless flexibility, and integrated voice control that can genuinely simplify home theater ownership for the right household. Its strengths lie in the ease of placement, the surprisingly cohesive surround field from the compact cubes, and the hands-free Alexa experience that makes everyday listening feel effortless. The trade-offs: dependence on a strong Wi-Fi network, limited equalizer control, and a price tag that reflects its all-in-one nature mean it's not a universal solution, but for those who value convenience and a clean look, the value proposition is clear. If